Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Jason Cooper, a seasoned sales relationship coach, high performance trainer, and the host of the Global Sales Leader podcast. With over 25 years in global sales, leadership, and coaching, and a unique background as as an ultra marathon runner and performance mindset advocate, Jason helps individuals and teams sharpen their sales skills, build genuine relationships, and unlock their full potential through neuroscience-based coaching and a human-first sales philosophy. Jason, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I'm very excited. I love doing these. These are always good fun. So appreciate the intro. And I know the little pause before ultra marathon runner, but that's probably a bit of a gasp for going, why are you doing that sort of stuff? What makes
It
you
was,
want to do running around the mountains? So
yeah, it
it,
was like, I've got a crazy man on the podcast, but brace, Olivia, brace. We've got someone who likes ultra running.
yeah, it's one of those things. Either you like it, love it, or you hate it. Even if you're running it, you either like it, love it, or hate it.
It's a lot of mindset work. I've done a little bit of running myself, but neither to the ultra level. I do know you have to have very, very, very high resilience and a lot of time spent on your own thinking.
Yeah.
So kudos to you for that, Jason.
Well, that's probably a good segue into where we're going to be speaking about today. Because I,
Exactly
I
that.
always believe it's whatever we do in business, it is mindset first. It's whatever we say to ourselves to actually see where we want to be going in
Yeah.
our personal and professional lives. So for me, like ultra running is a really good parallel to
Yeah.
what that I do in my business life, but also parallel to really push myself beyond where I think it's possible to go due to constraints, due to whatever you think about. But that thing that you do with your mind when you running up hills and over mountains, bogs, trains, water logs, and whatever else really prepares you for day-to-day life in
Yeah.
fitness, the brain, the mind, but also perseverance and resilience.
Yeah. So true. Determination and like motivation are the big drivers for that as well. It's getting out and doing it, even though you know you're not going to enjoy it halfway through.
But when it's
It balance.
raining and snowing and whatever else, sometimes you just have to do it, an
Exactly.
automatic process. And it's like business when you wake up in the
Exactly.
morning. Some days you just don't want to do it, but you have to do it
Yep.
because that's how we are motivated to our own success and our own business success in life. And I think there's, as I say, there's a parallel between the two of them. And I know you're eager to ask questions about that, but I think it's always a good segue to actually drive ourselves forward and make a difference. But it is the potential that we do have in our own personal lives and professional lives to actually propel ourselves a little bit more forward. And
Yeah.
that intrinsic motivation is one of those things that is the best thing that we can actually do as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I love that. And let's dive into that a little bit more then. So typically I do actually like to start at the beginning with all of my guests. So if you don't mind taking me back briefly to a little
Yep.
bit what you was doing before you set up the company, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
So I've been 22 years in Dublin, Ireland, and before that I was living in London. And so my career over the last 25, 30 years has pretty much been in sales. I started off selling photocopiers to the square mile of London to get myself into sales because I always wanted to do it. I've always had a fascination with people and developing other people. But it was really those learning moments. And I remember my mentor at that particular stage when I first started out is you have two ears and one mouth. So you use it to communicate with other people to be more effective. And that really always stuck with me because we do have two ears and one mouth. So we have to use them effectively. And so I went on to the career of going on to doing lots of online stuff in 2000, the dot-com bubble and burst. Was living in central London. And then 22 and a bit years ago, I moved to Dublin, Ireland. I met an Irish woman and moved over to here. And at that time, I was working with an ambient advertising. So I started off working in and developing the Irish market.
Nice. Amazing. That's
So
very, yeah, continue. Continue, please.
yeah, no, so I did that for a few years and a few things happened and wasn't right for me. Then probably 17, 15, I can't remember. It's a while ago. And I co-founded an awards show with on the backup with Twitter. So we brought along Twitter and we've done an award show for the Tweeties and did that went really well. And then I co-founded another startup with some money and investment from Just Eat, over €1 million, creating online fashion with the independent fashion retailers in Ireland. So we did that for a few years and that was good. But then there was a hunger inside of me. I liked doing the sales stuff, but I was fascinated with human development
Mm,
and the idea behind how we think, feel, and operate from a psychology point of view. So there has to be sort of a cross-pollination between the two. So I learned how to be a trainer, and then I learned how to be a coach. And then I went out and just learned everything that I could. Loads of books. There's loads of books behind me, but and then delving in and doing lots of workshops and developing to make a path forward. And I failed hugely loads of times because I wasn't quite certain what I wanted to do. But I knew
mm,
there was a pathway there that I needed to carve out in my life just to find out what my passion was. And it did take a little while to find out what that my niche, my drive, and the elements that I needed to go. I felt like I was skiing down a mountain like going segue left, right, left and right, and the direction wasn't that clear until I actually found that if I skied straight down, I found a really good path, which was that was where my goal was, and that was where my passion was. And I could see the light at the end of the tunnel going, this is what I love to do. And since then, I love it. Absolutely passion for developing people to help them find their own potential in their own lives, whether it's training them or whether I'm coaching them in person
mm.
or via Zoom or Teams or whatever online tools that there is there. So it just comes in life every now and again that you really find out what it means for your own growth and your own potential by inspiring other people to help them to get what they want. And that's where I'm completely congruent with now.
I love it. So we found the purpose. And I love the analogy used with like the the slalom going down the ski run and then just look, I've seen the tunnel, I'm gonna go for it. I know if I just go straight, I'm gonna get there. We're not gonna get lost on the way around. And I feel like a lot of people, I don't know if it's societal pressures or just coming through maybe COVID having that effect on people, but a lot of people do find themselves slaloming and just keep slaloming. They never see that goal, they never go straight forward. So that's amazing that you managed to achieve that. And now, as you say, the purpose is to help other people do the same thing and just get to where
Yeah.
they want to be. So let's dive into that a little bit more then. So walk me through. So the sales relationship coach, walk me through then. Who would you say like is your ideal customer? And then from there, how is it you help them and how would you support them at the moment?
Well, I would say that people who want to find their own potential. It's great when you work with a team
Mm,
that are eager and ready to learn and eager and ready to self-develop. Ideally, they're the people that I love to work with. It's sometimes it's not as easy as all that because I work with corporates, I work with large accountancy firms like financial companies, the likes of KPM, Deloitte, and a few other large
yeah,
organizations like that. But that's all professional development programs, and really to make them see that there's something different, there's a good path for them once they come out of themselves. And
yeah,
then I've worked with the likes of Google, and I've worked with the likes of various other large to small to medium sized businesses. So there's a lot of different pathways in there, but it's really teams of people, whether I work with on leadership programs, which I help design and have developed, and also work with aggregators, which are training companies that want a trainer as an associate like me and they put me into companies, and then I help them to find out what the need actually is by doing a training needs analysis of the organization and speak to multiple stakeholders within the organization
Mm.
and really find out from a consultative element what their challenges are in each individual department, whether it's the learning development people and whether it's the people that are actually in the teams, the marketing director or the sales director, or whoever it might be that is working in the organization that has a need for something like what I can offer.
Amazing. So again, if I'm understanding this correctly, so it's getting the in within the organizations, the teams to all be working cohesively and making sure the goal aligns with each person to obviously have that direct outcome moving forward from there.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much so. So I need to find what their pain points are.
Yeah. Okay.
And as a consultative seller, and I've worked as a trainer in consultative selling, there's lots of different processes that you have to use. But the way I like to look at it is just a conversation. So I don't, it's like this conversation that we're having right
Yeah.
now. What I'm doing is asking you lots and lots of questions to find out what the challenge that they might be facing. Sometimes they already know what it is, but they can't verbalize it
Mm.
until they are asked enough questions to really self-discover and uncover it themselves. So there is something there, and they are speaking to me for some reason, but then sometimes they're not quite certain what it is that they need until you really dig in and find out what they're looking for specifically. And that just takes time.
Mm.
Could be half an hour, could be an hour's conversation. The easiest way nowadays is online. I do all of my meetings online. I very
Amazing.
rarely meet people, especially if they're overseas in the UK or across EMEA or in the US or
Yeah.
even some parts of Ireland. As might have said in the intro, I live in Dublin, Ireland now and have been here for 22 years.
Amazing. And we can reach, and as you say, the internet's amazing to just reach people all over the world. So the fact that you can work from Ireland and be speaking to people and helping organizations in the US is just all part of the amazing technology span. So, like, what would you say then is a typical, I suppose, the typical problem or issue that you tend to help people overcome or help organizations get through?
I don't think there's a typical one
Okay.
because the way I like to work is all bespoke,
Mm.
meaning I don't come off the shelf and go, there we go, that's working for you. Because it's like a square peg in a round hole. I've
Yeah.
done lots and designed lots of different workshops, and there's lots of different processes that I could implement. And there's loads of different methodologies out there, medic, spin, the rain. There's loads of different off the shelf methodologies that you can actually go slot in and go, well, that would work for you. But really, in reality, you really have to find out what it is specifically that they're missing.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
if they're missing quota and then their team are missing quota, or whether it's team management alignment, or whether it is something else that their outbound isn't very good, we have to work with that. And then, based on the
Mm.
conversation that we do have, we work with the process. What I don't want to do is to come in and sellotape over a issue with other cracks that are appearing. It's like a dried out
Yeah.
piece of pottery that enables lots of cracks. And what I don't want to do is just start to super glue it together because then you can see the cracks. What I'd like to do is like a proper 360 solution where we
Mm.
look at that and then we train them on different processes. And then after that, we do some coaching to enforce and endorse the training program. So there's a review, and then possibly we come back in at a later stage. That's an ideal process. But sometimes it's not ideal because that's all they want. And you go, well, yeah, I'll do that. Your
Uh,
best process, if you want to streamline it and you want to make it perfect for you for now and in the future, to make it as future proof as you can in this current climate, because like the analogy of everything going left and right, other people's businesses are going like that because they have to pivot. And the
hmm
likes now there is the market is AI endorsed or enforced because everyone's using these chat GBT and Gemini and co-pilot processes now, and they're reducing staff and they're streamlining their teams. So you have to work with what's going on right now.
Yeah, amazing. And a very tailored and, as you say, in-depth approach to really helping get into that root cause of it and not just the band-aid effects of what they think is going to fix the issue moving forward, which is really cool. And so I'm also intrigued then to see how you go about acquiring your customers. So like what methods and what channels are you finding most effective in reaching people for yourself?
So there's a couple of different processes that I work with associations that they have a database of clients. They have a clients. So I work with them. It's an easier relationship
Yeah.
led way to work with their clients, and then I can have conversations and find out what the need actually is, what they want.
Yeah.
So I have a whole flurry of associations that I work with. Then I work with training organizations. I have a whole load of training organizations that I work with, and then I do work with them on bespoke campaigns. And then I have outbound. I also do my own personal branding. I'm all over LinkedIn. I run my own Global Sales Leader podcast, which actually pivots me as a knowledge expert. So they keep telling me, but look, I'm not egocentric, so I don't mind that. So this, I it's to put yourself out there, to make yourself be seen. So you have number one, you have social proof and evidence, and you have credibility. You also have transparency because people actually see and hear you. Also run a newsletter which I push out every couple of weeks based on opinions that I think and something slightly different, which isn't being posted out on newsletters. I generally have pushed that out via LinkedIn newsletters, and I'm on my own blog as well.
Nice.
And I'm exploring other things as well, and I do LinkedIn lives. Then I have conversations with people on bespoke subjects.
Mm. So
So
really like very good on the knowledge front as well. Obviously offering a lot of, I put not the rapport on the front end, but a lot of knowledge on the front end, helping people with resources before they've even made contact with you. So there is, as you say, a lot of rapport there and just trust, which is
yeah,
so important in the modern age as well, with all the noise that everyone has with their personal brands and online. So just keeping that authentic to yourself is really nice to see.
the key thing in there to reach out into that point, the modern process now, because this age of digital,
Yeah.
it's education, education, education. So imagine that you're going out to buy a car. You would go online and do your research of the car that you want to buy, the speed of the car, the how big it is, the size of the engine, maybe the color that you might be looking on, or whatever it might be, comfort, air conditioning, or whatever, electric. You would do your due diligence before you pick up the phone or before you find out where you can actually buy them. So you get then you might go to the forecourt and maybe get a test drive of certain brands and specifications that you're really into. So you made that educated bit of research before you actually reach out. So that's part of my process is educate, educate, educate so that people can actually resonate.
Yes.
And then it's an easier, I would say easier process, nothing easier, but it's hopefully a little bit more simpler process. So if I am doing outbound, and I know I'm doing outbounds to my database or people that actually subscribe to my newsletter, or alternatively, they're subscribed to, I've got a huge LinkedIn following as well. So whether it's via that as well, I don't really use that many others. Facebook is pretty old. I don't really use that so much. Instagram's a bit better. I haven't really got my head around TikTok. I just end up exploring and I spend life 2 hours have gone by and I haven't done anything with that. So I actually deleted it for the moment. So I haven't really got too much of a process there, but I know there's a huge, massive audience if I do it correctly, but I haven't
Yeah.
quite streamlined that yet.
It's a different kettle of fish because there's also different users on TikTok. So that's why LinkedIn is so amazing. Even Instagram and Facebook, you have a different caliber or a different age group.
Yeah.
TikTok is it's very solemn. To go back to that same analogy I was using earlier on, I think that's a great way to describe TikTok. Which way am I going? Where's left? Where's right? And
Yeah.
then with that being said, Jason, do you run any form of like advertisements online as well, or is it purely just like organic outreach and really not?
I don't. I've written a whole load of new articles within magazines, and they
Okay.
normally ask me if I want to do them. So I have the way I look at my approach is more organic approach because even on my LinkedIn it's all, and my other as platforms, it's more of an organic approach. So I really like that. I get approached all the time for people to ask me to do, oh yeah, paid advertising, magazines and stuff like that. And magazines don't really work for me unless they're specific to my industry or unless it's specific to my vertical that I want to help and engage. So I've worked with various other organizations and I've done webinars and that type of thing. And I
Yeah,
also work with another company and I do free webinars every couple of weeks or every couple of months, which is specific to the audience that I want to serve.
nice. Yeah. So keeping it, as you say, that specific avatar in mind when you're talking to them people as well and using the avenues that they're going to find easily and most attractive. And
Yeah.
then, Jason, I suppose, like, what are the plans moving forward for you? So, like, what do the next 6 to 12 months have in store? Are you planning to
Well,
scale, or is there any goals that you're looking forward to achieving?
well, yeah, I'm looking to push out more into the US and other international markets. So I'm looking to jump on the plane a little bit more often, more of the time. That's the big goal. And to get a few more people into the organization that I'm hoping to grow. So I
Nice.
have a vision of what I want to achieve. And I did a vision board last year. And funny enough, ironically, I had a picture of Tower Bridge in it. I'm looking at it now. And a few months ago, I was delivering a workshop and I was in the hotel overlooking Tower Bridge. So I took a picture of it and I didn't pay any mind to it. And then I had a look at my vision board, and it's exactly the same as what I put on my vision board. Exactly the same picture. And I was like taking a step back. It's amazing what you plant into your mind. And sometimes whatever the universe actually is comes out into fruition. So
Hmm.
I've got bigger plans for next year of what I want to achieve. So I will create a vision board because I think that's a really good thing to just keep looking
Yeah,
at and going, well, yes, achieve that personally and professionally, what I want to achieve. So,
I
yeah,
like
I
that.
have big ambitions for next year.
I love that. I actually have a vision board next to me as well. When you look to the left, I look to the left. And do you have a plan of how you're going to achieve all that? Or like, what is the biggest challenge do you think you're going to encounter, maybe?
Well, this time of year, I take stock and I do my business plan for 2026. So I wrote one last year. So as for next week, I'll be writing my new one of what I need to do. And every year, there's always challenges. Sometimes things don't go to plan, but you have to have a plan for the plan. If you sometimes you set it up as 80%, 90% with a bit of wiggle room for I need to pivot or the market conditions might change, so you have to repivot again and rethink about it. What do I need to do? So if I haven't got enough in the pipeline, what do I need to do now to get the pipeline up and running for later on in the year? So I've got enough things going on,
Yeah,
constantly conversations going on. So that's it's always everything that we do, you have to keep topping up the pipeline and the
you do.
process and keep applying it.
You
So
do. You have
practice
to,
what you preach.
you do. You have to keep going. It's like the marathons we started the conversation with, just consistency in that platform and nice movement all the way through, not waving it in and
Consistency is
out.
key.
Consistency is key. And Jason, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
I'd like to always say LinkedIn is probably the best way to get hold of me. If you do a search, Jason Cooper, go up on LinkedIn. And if you actually want to be more specific, you go Jason Cooper Dublin, you'll see my profile and everything else. Not Jason Cooper, the drummer from The Cure. So don't get that confused because there is a Jason Cooper there. And you can find me on jasoncooper.io. And that is .io, just to make that, because some people go, oh, did I hear that correctly? And it's jasoncooper.io.
Oh, yeah.
Email jcooper@jasoncooper.io. Twitter, I don't really use it much anymore. Whatever it's called something else now, but I don't really use it as much anymore. I just pivoted off that. Instagram, Jason A. Cooper, and you can find me on there.
Beautiful. Jason Cooper across all places, but don't get confused with the other one. There's more than one Jason Cooper.
There's more than one Jason Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And thank you again for joining us. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we will see you on the next one.